Morning people, self-isolation day 25. Again, hopefully everyone is doing well. I have my coffee. We're about to hit the road again, people. I'm about to do another 5K. Got to keep it consistent. By the way, I do it without breakfast as well. So it's fasted cardio because that helps me lose weight a lot quicker, right? And plus I feel too heavy having a breakfast. So we do it with nothing but coffee and a bit of water. And then we go. And it does reduce my weight quickly. And it makes it very hard for me as well to do. Before we start and talk about the next, what would have happened, did you guys see Paulie Malignaggi's interview with Sam Jones, the promoter of Joe Joyce and a few other fighters? Interesting. He's asked about Manny Pacquiao. I think Sam asked him whether or not Manny Pacquiao at his peak might have been cheating. And Paulie obviously, and he said this a few times before in the past, says yes. But it's funny the way in which he says it, because he says when he first started boxing, so not like professional boxing, but when he first went into a gym and learned how to jab, Manny Pacquiao, he said, was already going for his first world title. So just learning how to box. And Paulie said, literally, he's gone from learning how to box, gone through his whole amateur career, gone from literally coming up as a pro, winning world titles, losing world titles, winning them again, retiring. He said he's done all that, and Manny Pacquiao is still at the top of his game and is a world champion. And he said, yeah, he doesn't trust Manny Pacquiao at all. He also, and people always say I take things out of context, so go and watch the interview for yourself. But I think he also tries to tell me, or tell the audience, sorry, that Terence Crawford is a bit suspicious. I'm not having that. I'm not having that at all. And it's not just because Terence Crawford's my favorite fighter, but I'm just not having that. Maybe, in fact, maybe it is because Terence Crawford is my favorite fighter. But go and watch the interview and make of it what you want. Because again, some people say, Ade, you take things out of context. Like some people are telling me I've taken this Devin Haney thing out of context. I don't know if I have. All right, let's move on to the next, what would have happened. Now, this is one for the older generation of viewers. So those probably within my age demographic, I'm 39. Or just hardcore viewers that know their boxing, right? Because we are going back a few years here now to an event that didn't happen. Some of you might not even know that this event even existed, right? I mean, it's one of those ones that have been buried away, just like so many people's drug test, just been buried away, people. But this is an event that was supposed to happen in October 19, I don't want to get this wrong. I think it's 93 or 94. I'm going to say 94. In fact, 100% October 1994 in Hong Kong. It was supposed to happen in a Hong Kong stadium in October 1994. And that was Herbie High defending his WBO heavyweight title against Tommy Morrison. How interesting, right? How interesting. Also, by the way, on the undercard of this event was Frank Bruno fighting Ray Mercer, which would have been great, and Steve Collins. Yes, Steve Collins, who beat Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank. He was supposed to be on the undercard as well. I don't know who against. I'm trying to dig and find out who, so I might put it underneath this video right now, but I don't know who against. But Steve Collins was supposed to be on the undercard as well. So decent card, right? Decent card. It was supposed to happen in the Hong Kong National Stadium, which is like a 40,000 seater stadium. Only 2,000 tickets were sold. Finances didn't come through at the 11th hour. Imagine that. And just the day before the weigh-ins, the fight got scrapped, right? The whole card got scrapped. Barry Hearn, who was promoting Frank Bruno, Herbie Hyde, and I think Steve Collins at the time pulled his fighters, and the American promoters pulled their fighters, and it got scrapped. That would have been an interesting fight. Herbie Hyde, obviously WBO heavyweight champion, won that belt by beating Michael Bent. Have you guys seen the Michael Bent documentary on Netflix? Go and watch it. Fascinating. It's a real good insight into how boxers really think, right? We look at boxers as these massive, sort of larger than life butch characters. And Michael Bent kind of just lets you into his head to kind of show it's not all like that, right? Yeah, so he won the belt from Michael Bent. Do you guys remember the the press conference where Michael Bent and Herbie Hyde actually had a fight. A fight. It's not a nose to nose like what these fighters do now. A physical fight, right? Yes, he won the belt from Michael Bent. Michael Bent won the belt from Tommy Morrison. Tommy Morrison won the belt in a fight against George Foreman. I'm just trying to give you guys an understanding of how that belt came about. At the time, Tommy Morrison was, what was he, 41-2-1. Herbie Hyde at the time was 26 fights, 26 wins, 25 knockouts, right? I don't know if you guys remember also the famous post-fight press conference where Barry Hearn says Herbie Hyde is the best heavyweight in the world and he'll knock out Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. Go and search it on YouTube. It's funny considering the afterthought, right? That what we know now. Tommy Morrison at the time was considered the great white hope, right? Obviously coming off the Rocky 5 fame, but had a long unbeaten run. Then he got knocked out by Ray Mercer. Ray Mercer was unbeaten at the time, legit at the time as well, Ray Mercer. And then they built him up again. And the idea was he was going to go into the Michael Bent fight, defend his belt, and then have a massive fight against either Evander Holyfield or Lennox Lewis. That was the idea, right? Michael Bent wasn't supposed to cause the upset. Michael Bent knocked him out, and then that obviously ended that talk about a Lennox Lewis fight. Although he did go on to fight Lennox Lewis in '95, but that kind of scuppered a big money fight, and it would have been a blockbuster in America. So the Herbie Hyde fight was a rebuilding job. So it was a case of go to Hong Kong, fight this at the time kind of unknown but unbeaten world champion. And also, let's not forget, the WBO belt wasn't the way we think of the WBO belt now. It was considered almost like an IBO belt back then, right? A lot of fighters used to vacate the belt. For example, Herbie Hyde fought Tony Tucker for a vacant WBO belt in 1996, and then lost it to Vitaly Klitschko in 97. So it was a belt that wasn't very high profile, but the Americans wanted Tommy Morrison to go over to Hong Kong, get that belt back, come back, and then rebuild your career again. That all said, people, sorry, I've kind of gone all over the place there. Who do you think would have won that fight? Tommy Morrison, Herbie Hyde. Remember, Tommy Morrison at the time had been knocked out twice, Michael Bent, Ray Mercer, but could punch, was explosive and could punch. Herbie Hyde, unbeaten, 26 fights, 25 knockouts, but you could say hadn't fought anyone, right? I mean, Michael Bent hadn't really fought anyone. And he was undersized for a heavyweight, very undersized. I mean, we would see this later on, obviously, because he would go to cruiserweight and do some good things at cruiserweight. Unbeaten at cruiserweight, by the way. Won some fringe titles and then just retired. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Just retired. That would have been a good fight. That would have been a very good fight. Tommy Morrison, explosive, fast, could punch. Herbie Hyde, faster because he was a bit lighter and could also punch, right? His record at the time would say so. You would think it was whoever landed first clean. Whoever landed first clean is winning that fight. I don't know. Before we give our decision, how do you think Herbie Hyde would do now in this heavyweight landscape? Landscape? I think he'll be a top 15 heavyweight. I do. I think he'd hand himself quite well. I think he would. I think he would be competitive against the likes of Chisora and guys in and around that number. Would he be a top 10 heavyweight? Possibly. I could see him matching up well against like the likes of Michael Hunter. Those kind of guys out there. I think he would do pretty well. All right, let's go back to our decision. Who would win? Tommy Morrison, Herbie Hyde. I want to say Tommy Morrison was done by then just because of the way he was living his life. We kind of know that now. And the fact he'd been knocked out twice by people they didn't expect him to be knocked out by. Ray Mercer was unbeaten, yes, but again, they expected Tommy Morrison to beat that. And the Michael Bent one was a big upset. I'm going to edge to Herbie Hyde. I'm going to edge to the unbeaten fighter, super confident. And again, at the time, Barry Hearn was talking like he was going to take over the world. I think Herbie Hyde would have knocked him out. Would have been a good fight, right? Herbie Hyde When he stepped up to the land of the giants, got smashed. Riddick Bowe smashed him in 95. Vitaly Klitschko, we know, beat him as well. But Tommy Morrison wasn't a giant. And he didn't hit as hard. He hit hard, but he didn't hit as hard as Vitaly and Riddick Bowe. Sorry, he didn't. So I think Herbie Hyde would have handled Morrison just because, although he was a small heavyweight, Morrison wasn't as big as those giants, right? So the size wouldn't have been too off. So I'm going for Herbie Hyde to have stopped Morrison. Even though Morrison after did have a good win against Donovan Razor Ruddock, but that was a faded Razor Ruddock, right? That was after those 2 wars with Tyson and after being stopped by Lewis. So I would have gone to Herbie Hyde. But that's an interesting, right? High noon in Hong Kong, an event scrapped, not because of the boxers, not because of someone failing the drug test or someone missing weight, just because of finances. Just because of finances. Yeah, interesting. What do you guys think? Let me know. Peace. Guys, sorry, it's me again. I'm back. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, please like and share the videos. It really does help the channel a lot. And if you want to support the channel, I do have a Patreon account. The link is in the description. All right, I'm done. Peace.